In this video, we are learning about converting to slope-intercept form. Okay, so we're going to be getting equations that are in other forms and we're going to change them. We're going to move them around so they're in slope-intercept form. Why? Why are we doing this? Why are we converting to slope-intercept form? You know why? Because it's easy to graph, okay? We know how to graph slope-intercept. Not only is it a matter of we know how to do it, it's actually just the easiest one to graph. We're going to learn the other ones. Right? But right now, we know how to graph slope-intercept, and it's the easiest one. So we want to take, if we have an equation that's in a different form, we want to change it into the easier form, right? So in this video, you're going to learn how to convert from point-slope form. In the next class, you'll learn about converting from standard form. Okay. Now remember point-slope form. Okay, and we're not really gonna learn it too much this year, right? We just have to kind of be smart this year. But point-slope form is y minus y1 is a number when you write the equation, equals the slope times x minus x1. Okay, now what this form is, just to give you a super quick summary, is that this is a good form if you have a point that's on the line and the slope, right? You can see the slopes right here. We know that m is the slope. And then this point is this x1 and y1, right? So this is not really something that I'm going to ask that you understand or know for this year, okay? But that is point-slope form. So let's say that I have, and we're going to do some examples here, and we're going to convert from point-slope into slope-intercept. So let's say I have, and I'm going to put the steps right here, so you can kind of reference those, and then I'm going to start with my examples over here. So let's say I have an equation like this. Y minus 7 equals 2 times x plus 4. Okay, so this is an equation in point-slope form, right? You can kind of see it looks just like my form. Now I want to change it into slope-intercept form. Okay, now remember, we have to just sort of picture in our heads, what does slope-intercept form look like? It looks like this. So let's make some observations, okay? Number one, y is by itself on the left. By itself on the left. And number two, there's no parentheses. Right? So if I want to make this look like this, then what do I need to do? Well, I need to get rid of these parentheses because there's no parentheses here. And I need to get this y by itself, right? So those are basically like my two tasks, and so that's what I'm going to do right now. All right? And the easiest way to do it is to actually distribute first, to get rid of those parentheses. And this is, and in point-slope form, it's always going to be on the right. So you're going to distribute on the right side of the equation. Okay, so what does that mean? I'm going to bring down the left side. I'm not going to touch it. And now I'm going to distribute. 2 times x is 2x, and 2 times 4 is 8. Okay, so now I'm getting closer, right? This is starting to look kind of like y equals, look, mx plus b. But here's the difference, is look, doesn't say y equals. There's this number with y, and that's what we don't want, right? So the second step is that we're going to either add or subtract whatever that number is. We have to use inverse operations to get y by itself. And the word we use for getting a number by itself is isolate. Add or subtract to isolate y, right? That means get y by itself. Okay, so right now, how would I get y by itself? Well, right now it has this minus 7, so I'm going to do the opposite of minus 7. I'm going to add 7. Now, where would I add 7? Well, I don't add it here. Those aren't like terms. This has an x, so I'm going to add it right here. So y equals, right, this cancels, 2x plus 15. And notice this is y equals mx plus b, and that's it. Okay, now, I can graph this, right? So that is how you convert from point-slope to slope-intercept. I'm just going to do a couple more examples just so you can see sort of anything you might run into. So here's another example. Here's an equation in point slope. In this case, my slope is -3. Okay, but I'm going to follow the same steps. First, I'm going to distribute on the right side. So -3 times x is -3x. Now careful here, -3 times -1. Negative times negative is positive. 3 times 1 is 3. Okay, and I'm just bringing down the left side. Next, I need to add or subtract to get y by itself. So here, if I want y by itself, I need to get rid of +8. So I'm going to do -8. I don't do it here. Those aren't like terms. I do it over here. Right? These don't have an x. Those are like terms. So I get y equals -3x. 3 minus 8 is -5. Oh, sorry. There you go. Okay, and then one last example just to show you one last situation you might run into, which is a slope that's a fraction. Okay, and we know that slopes are often fractions, so this is definitely something that you might see. Okay, so but the steps are the same, so I'm going to distribute on the right side. Okay, so I'm going to bring down the left, equals, now this is 2/3 x, right, 2/3 x, and now I need to multiply 2/3 times 6. 2/3 times 6. So we talked a little bit last class about how to multiply fractions, but let's just, I'm going to show you again multiplying fractions. I'm going to do it, let's just do it down here. And I'm going to show you, it's actually the same way that I showed you last class, but I'm going to show it to you just kind of using a little bit different words just to see, you know, maybe it'll click for you more one way or the other. So here I have 2/3 times 6, right? That's what I'm trying to multiply, 2/3 times 6, right? That's what I want right now. So watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to change the whole number into a fraction. How do I do that? How do I change a whole number into a fraction? Well, we know how to do that, right? We do that all the time with slopes. If we have a whole number slope, we change it to a fraction, rise over run. So there we go. I change it to a fraction. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is multiply across, right? This is how we multiply fractions, the top and bottom. Okay, so what do I get there? 2 times 6 is 12, that's on top. 3 times 1 is 3, that's on the bottom. Okay, so now I have this, and then that's just division, right? That says 12 divided by 3, so then I divide. And in this case, I would get 4. Okay, so these are like the steps, right? I take this math, I change the whole number to a fraction, multiply across the top, and then I end up with something like this, and I divide. Okay, so 2/3 times 6, 2/3 times 6 is 4. 2/3 times 6 is 4. And now I do need y by itself. So I'm going to subtract 9. Subtract 9. Get y equals 2/3 x. 4 minus 9. Right? I'm taking away the larger number here, so it's going to be -5. And there we go. Okay, and that's what you're going to start with when you come in next class. And you can go ahead right now and just set up your practice problem space for next class. So number 1, number 2, the first 6 questions are going to be just like the examples we just did. So just go ahead and leave yourself 1, 2, 3, 4 lines. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'm going 5 and 6. So that's your first 6 questions are going to be just like those examples. Okay, so you can even go ahead and set yourself up right now.